Week 3 of the 2024 PFL Playoffs takes place this Friday night. It's going to be headlined by Brendan Loughnane versus Kai Kamaka, with Magomed Umalatov, Neiman Gracie in the welterweight co-main event, Gabriel Braga versus Timur Khizriev, Shamil Musayev versus Murad Ramazanov, and a couple other interesting bouts featuring Ray Cooper and Eric Alakin. Luka Poklet, Tyler Diamond, and Enrique Barzola are really the big prelim matchups that are interesting that we'll get into in this video. First up, the main event. Brendan Loughnane coming off his huge knee up the middle doctor stoppage against his last opponent, caused a huge cut, showing that he's getting more dangerous as he goes on throughout his career. He's training these techniques, he's getting more dangerous. He's coming in with a little more power in his strikes, and it's looking really, really good for Brendan Loughnane, really trying to make a name for himself, and I think he's improving overall. Kai Kamaka has had a career resurgence through Bellator, through the PFL, beat Pedro Carvalho. Fantastic performance to launch himself into this playoff position against Brendan Loughnane. Both these guys traditionally have had really kind of stale, not super exciting styles up to this point, but have proven in their last couple of bouts that they come to bang. I'm excited to see this fight. I think Brendan Loughnane has the upper hand in terms of just the overall grappling ability. I think he's going to play it smart, probably create a boring atmosphere in this fight with the takedowns, but don't count Kai Kamaka out. This guy comes to scrap. He pushes forward. He's got great just pressure in the stand-up. I'm interested to see this fight. It's going to be a good one, but there's always potential with the rule sets of the PFL, which is always going to be the downside for PFL fights, that Brendan Loughnane locks up a takedown and sits on him for 3 rounds. So be wary. Look forward to it. It's an interesting matchup. We're going to see which of these guys can have a post-UFC resurgence like no other. On to the co-main event. Magomed Umalatov versus Neiman Gracie. Neiman Gracie stepping in on short notice because Don Madge got hurt and is out of the playoffs tournament. Neiman Gracie, a grappler, as his name suggests, gracefully, coming in against Magomed Umalatov, who really has come out of nowhere. Let me show you this guy's record down here on Tapology. Shout out to Tapology. He really hadn't had a lot of great competition leading up to this Delano Taylor fight, in which he sparked him out in the first round. And then against Andrei Koreshkov, who is a legitimate dangerous kickboxer in the PFL, in Bellator, and then took on a huge guy in Brennan Ward, who's not really the most technical fighter, but he just comes to scrap. He's dangerous in terms of just pressure. He's got the cardio, he's got the durability, and he can cause guys a lot of problems. And honestly, Umalatov just buzzsawed right through him and Koreshkov in the regular season of this 2024 PFL season. I'm looking forward to this one. I think Umalatov has just risen up out of nowhere. He's beaten guys that are arguably just as good, if not better, than Neiman Gracie at this point. Neiman Gracie's getting a little bit older in his age, getting a little bit damage-ridden. He's had a lot of losses in a row. I know he's had some wins sprinkled out throughout there, but he's just not looking good. It's late notice. He could pull anything out of his hat. He's got great jiu-jitsu. If they get on the ground, if Umalatov takes it to the ground, this could become a dangerous thing for him, and Neiman Gracie could come away with some kind of a submission in a scramble, some kind of a switch, some kind of a sweep, that kind of situation. I can see Neiman Gracie pulling off a submission, but I'm going to take Umalatov in a dominant fashion, no matter what he does, whether it's on the feet or on the ground. I think he's got the smothering, grappling ability to take out Neiman Gracie. On to the next, Gabriel Braga. Coming off some impressive performances, this guy always comes to bang. He's really dangerous. Timur Khizriev, kind of a smothering grappler who's not much of a finisher, but he's a quick grappler. He's a much more entertaining grappler. If you're into the grappling, this guy is not a boring grappler, but he is a smothering, all over you, doesn't let you get anything off in terms of offense, and it's really impressive. I'm going to expect him to win, get Gabriel Braga down, but Gabriel Braga is just a scrapper. It comes with where he comes from. He's had a hard road leading up to this. Really emotional year for this guy. Expect the MMA gods to step in and just let him get some kind of crazy finish here. Who knows? But I'm expecting that Khizriev's going to get the win, but I'm hopeful that Braga can get something done, spark this guy out, knock him out, something spectacular on the feet. I think it's potentially possible because he's just so dangerous. He's just so wild, and he's really got nothing to lose. This is for the $1 million. Everything's on the line here, and I think he's going to go in there with a war mindset and get something done. I hope he gets it done, but expect Khizriev to pull away in this one with his dominant grappling. On to the next. A rematch of these guys last fought about 2 months ago. Shamil Musayev versus Murad Ramazanov. Ramazanov coming over from one championship, looking really, really impressive in there, dangerous in there. Comes into the PFL, and Shamil Musayev, if Umalatov came out of nowhere for you guys and came out of nowhere for me, this Musayev guy came out of nowhere. I had not heard of him until he entered the PFL and put on 2 really, really, really solid performances. Let me show you here on his record. Logan Storley is nobody to be trifled with, and he put him away, ground and pound, and then knocked out Ramazanov, who, like I said, has been really impressive in one championship up to this point. Signed with Bellator, signed with the PFL, came in, was kind of my dark horse underdog pick to win the whole thing because he just looked really well-rounded and have great ability in both areas, on the feet and on the ground, just smothering grappler, same kind of thing. But Musayev, dude, he just put him out with one shot. Really, really impressive in their last fight. I don't know if he'll be able to get the knockout again. I think Ramazanov's probably going to play a more cautious. He's going to shoot for the takedowns immediately, not play any on the feet. But we'll see what happens. Musayev, I'm going to pick in this one because I just don't know what this guy's capable of fully. If he can knock guys out and smother them on the ground, finish Logan Storley even, he's putting together a really good resume in just the last couple of fights. Okay, on to the next. Ray Cooper returning to middleweight against Mahmoud Berkamov. I don't really know who this guy is very much. I've seen a couple of his highlights. He's got ability, I won't deny that, but nothing too spectacular. He's not one of these Dagestanis that's really proven anything super impressive. Ray Cooper, of course, has just absolute hammers in his hands if he can show up in shape, focused, and determined to get a win. I don't know what kind of Ray Cooper we're going to get in this fight. Nobody ever seems to know anymore what kind of Ray Cooper is going to show up to the fight. It's hard to choose. I would take Ray Cooper just because he's got the willingness to win when he shows up focused and the ability to knock out anybody within the welterweight, middleweight, and light heavyweight division. This guy's just got hammers in his hands and he's ready to scrap. It just depends on what he's going to look like in the fight. How is he going to show up? Is he going to show up focused and on time and training or not? That's all you can say. You can be hopeful, but who knows? Eric Alekhine versus Luka Poklet. 2 guys coming over from Bellator, some old heads. Not expecting much from these matchups. The prelims really not very interesting. A lot of guys coming off of the PFL Europe Contender Series type of thing that they've got going on. Excited to see some fights, but the rule sets just kill it for me. The no elbows just doesn't make it very interesting. The whole scoring system just doesn't make much sense. Enrique Barzola versus Tyler Diamond. That'll probably be a decent scrap on the feet. Look forward to that one. Both guys come for a fight. They both come forward. They're pressure. They're well-rounded, both of them. Fast guys in the featherweight division. Both of them kind of bantamweights coming up. Look forward to that one. But anyway, main card, Brendan Loughnane, Kai Kamaka. Featherweights, Gabriel Braga, Timur Khizriev. We'll see who comes out on top and who's going to be facing off in the playoffs finals this November. And then Magomed Umalatov, Neiman Gracie, Shamil Musayev, Murad Ramazanov. Whoever wins those 2 fights are going to be facing each other in the finals later this year. Let's get it going. I'll see you later.